dun. Hello again. Just deciding what I want to do for tonight's stream since I finished Watermelon's pick. Might do another adopt update just so I can go through the list. I don't want to do this in alphabetical order though, which I probably should at some point. No, like I have a giant list of characters I've adopted for a few years, and instead of like just using the artwork that I was given, I want to draw them in my style so that way I'm not just like, oh yeah, here's a character and that's it. So I've been doing that for a while. Slowly chipping away. I've only made adopts one time, and I can't do that again just because of how attached I was to them. But they ended up getting, like, I ended up selling them, but I was like really attached, and I was like, I can't do that again. Okay, we'll do this character. So let me put her on screen so we have something to look at. And then I will draw my version. All right. Huh. That's strange. Oh, okay. I was like, something's off here. I was like, why is my pen like that? It's like, it's because you chose the wrong size, you idiot. Or the wrong pen. Time for blush. She is actually, well, yeah, I'm gonna lean towards that. She's actually a villain. She is part of a group of gangsters or criminals who put their souls into plush animals to avoid getting caught by the police or other gangs that they had a war with. So she ended up in this body. Not gonna keep her from doing bad stuff though. Nah, you're just gonna have to. I don't know what to do about that. And I don't have, like, actual chat on my screen all the time because I'm looking elsewhere. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the jokes. Free metal means it's gay. Yeah, it's pretty similar to Chucky, but in her case, let me find it because there's another adopted character that has to do with this. Let me find him. Because basically, they make a deal with a god, this thing, and he's the one that puts their souls into dolls. So he's like a voodoo god. Oh, it was a Pinky and the Brain parody. Yeah. I'll have to try to figure out how to make it so that what you say doesn't get censored, but I don't know if that's like hard baked into YouTube or not. He looks terrifying. Yeah. Whenever I introduce him, I'm gonna make him really creepy. Especially since he's using a plush body. So he'll be like, you know, contorting his body into like weird poses and stuff. Yeah, he's like a walking voodoo doll, but he's a god, so he can just do things. And the whole deal that they make with him is like, you know, he'll save their lives by putting them into puppets or into dolls, but he gets to play with them whenever he wants, type of thing, and make them do whatever he wants them to do. Yeah, that'd be likely something I would do. Just make him really horrifying on the inside. And like the hard question for them is like figuring out if their decisions are their own from now on, because they don't know whenever he's like manipulating them to do things. But he is a bit of a stickler, like he doesn't want to completely interfere with their actions because he's more interested in seeing what they do. But every once in a while he'll be like, you know, it would be interesting if they did this instead, and he'll like, you know, tilt tilt a finger just slightly just to get them to make a mistake or make an action they wouldn't normally do. Like very, very, very subtle influences. Yeah, I can see him doing that. And if he's like really cruel, then he would like devalue, you know, how a soul is taken by most beings. Where it's like, oh, you know, when people try to use like the whole "oh, I'm a human being" excuse for a lot of things whenever they do something horrible or whatever. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry I made this mistake. I'm a human being, and it's like, you realize how little that matters, right? It's like, oh, congratulations, you're human. What the fuck is that supposed to tell anybody? Doesn't mean shit. And that's how that god would interpret it. It's like, I don't care if you're human or whatever. Because to them, that doesn't mean shit. Because it's like, okay, yeah, you're human. Guess what? On that far-off star, way over there, there's a planet called whatever, full of, I don't know, unicorn people. Congratulations, you're not alone. You're one of infinite number of souls that come and go. I think I want to make their eyes a bit unique. So I'll probably do what the artwork shows of her eyes. Since she's in a doll's body, so I'll probably make them look a little bit more glassy. But yeah, like the doll god is definitely not one that cares whether you live or die necessarily. Nah, he wouldn't be full of souls. He would just be whatever nightmare fuel that would probably be inside. Or like whatever he actually looks like is inside the doll because he can only move through that reality via the doll. Something like that, maybe. You know what? We're just gonna do this because I don't like the way I did that eye. I think the hard part for this is just getting the mouth and muzzle right. Everything else seems pretty straightforward. There we go. I could always do the mirror tool, but I like doing it this way. Yeah, because like basically the main group is like a gangster boss and basically his hose. Like that's like the best way to put it. I was debating on if like one random toy ended up getting like given life by accident. And so they just have like a what's the best way to an uneducated pawn for them to use every once in a while. But then like after certain moments, like some of the girls don't like the pawn getting hurt all the time. And they don't necessarily feel pain, like they'll feel something. But then like, you know, they're made of fluff. But it's like, you know, they gotta be stitched together or else they won't be able to stitch back together or else they won't be able to move their body. So it's best to like, you know, be cautious regardless. I mean, there's not much to obtain from him. It's either you get a body that's made of that's whatever he puts your soul into, and then that's kind of it. And then he can puppet you whenever he feels like it. And then it's wise to not. It's wise to not insult him. Or he'll get the idea of like, okay, how do you feel like walking off a cliff? And like the bodies he puts you in doesn't have to be toys all the time. He could put you in something bizarre or something terrifying like a corpse or someone who technically died on like someone who like died in their sleep, but then he just puts your soul into their body and you're stuck in their body or something. Good evening. But yeah, in their case, they make a deal with them to have their lives saved, and so he puts them all into plushies. And so they're basically short plushies moving around. Like, I haven't decided on their actual sizes yet for when they're in plushie form. I was thinking like Toy Story sizes originally, but I can also see like a bigger toy being used, which would kind of be terrifying if they were in a horror movie. You just have like, what, 3-foot dolls running around, and then some of them have like a grudge against you, similar to like Chucky, so I could totally see that going on. But they're all like gangsters. And then like can decide whether or not they're affected by things like drugs or whatever. They were like, wait a minute, like, how are you affected by drinking? It's like, I thought we were plushies on the inside, and then they're like, yeah, but I guess I thought we have cotton or whatever on our inside. It's like, yeah, but I guess our cotton is our organs, maybe. And it's like, wait. So what happens if we put regular cotton inside of us? And it's like, I don't know. I guess it just adds on to it. The only design change I want to change with this character, though, is to just give her bigger boobs, because she was supposed to be like the, she's supposed to be like the busty, smart one. Who, like, knows that she could wrap the boss around her finger, but just chooses not to, and just chooses to tease the other women. Because she knows she's smarter than them. More like a power play. Yeah, it could be like that one movie, is it Get Out? I think the movie was. Where it's like these people that put their souls into like other people's bodies. And like they wait until they're like old people or whatever, and then swap their bodies with younger people. I think that was the movie, I could be wrong. But yeah, it could be something like that. Let me save this. Clean my glasses. But yeah, like, depending on how I go about it, it would just be terrifying to have like little fucking stuffed people coming after you. And then, like, if this was a movie, the bullshit part would be, like, after, like, assuming that the main heroes even succeed in stopping the gang and, like, destroying their bodies or whatever by, like, getting them burned or ripped apart or whatever the case may be, to completely disable them or, you know, make it so that they're just not active anymore. The god just shows up and it's like, oh, that wasn't bad, let's do this again, and he just makes new bodies for them. And then just puts them elsewhere. Like, he doesn't even give them a redo. Like, it's like, no, I'll bring you back, but you're forbidden to go after the people that took you out. It's like, you have to do this all over again, but elsewhere. So they don't even get a chance to get a do-over. Which would be frustrating. It's like, oh, hey, it's the person who kicked your ass, and you can't do anything about it. That'd be so frustrating. And then I could see this character trying to figure out like a loophole or something with their deal. It's like maybe in the future if they got like another deal or something, she would be more wise about it than they were the first time. Yeah, but ultimately, like, he gets to puppeteer them, so he kind of has the best part of the deal anyway. He can just make them do things. But most of the time, he just wants to see what bullshit they're gonna come up with. Where it's like, all right, they want entertainment, they want money or whatever, so they can do other things. But how will they go about it? And then we just see what they do from there. Normally I would leave her eyelashes like this, but... Well, no, because I've given Nepta different eyes compared to most characters. No. I'll still do the 3 lashes thing. And then, like, anytime they try to, like, badmouth the god or something, or, like, try to do something to not obey, he just gives them, like, a horrible, horrifying time. Or, like, makes their bodies do things like walk into a chimney fire or something. Or he makes it so that they're able to feel pain. Like, normal amounts of pain. And I can even see him, like, insulting, like, the leader of the group. Like, the leader would be, like, trying to, you know, talk shit on the god and all that, and then he just looks at this character and he's like, okay, you seem to be the smart one of the group, you explain this. Hello, hello. Yeah, exactly. Or even like the other doll that gets brought to life by mistake. I can make it so that I would change that so that you find out that it wasn't by mistake. That's just the god following around and just observing. Like, even though he could technically do that at any point, he just wants to participate. So he just plays the fool the entire time. So, like, after everyone's gotten, like, destroyed or whatever through whatever events that happens, you see the dumbass doll just show up, and it's like, well, I guess this adventure is over. And then it's like, wait, it's like talking all coherent. Do you think there'd be any? Oh, anything he owns or cares about? I mean, there probably is, but they wouldn't be able to have access to it. It's not like gods just roam the earth normally. Like, at least in my world, like, celestials are in like a whole other plane, but they just interact with the mortal worlds due to boredom. And it's not always on Earth either. It could be on like any distant planet. So the odds of a god taking interest in you is incredibly low. But if they happen to want to help you, then you're basically having like the chance of a lifetime. It's like, be thankful they looked in your direction, sort of thing. That's why I changed how Skylar gets his abilities, because it's just unlikely in canon for the devil to give a shit. Because when I originally gave him that part of his backstory, that was when it wasn't supposed to be tied to the World Gates' universe. But now that it is, I changed things around, because it's like, okay, normally she wouldn't care at all. She would have just let Skylar, get himself screwed over for accidentally killing Roy, and then that'd be the end of it. But that's why I changed things around and redid that part of the story. Yeah, exactly. If a god takes interest in you, you better pray that it's a god that's like just wants to have genuine fun, or just like doesn't want your life to be terrible. Because in the universe that I've made, basically there's a large list of gods, but it's condensed down to like, okay, because like obviously if there are billions of intelligent life forms in the universe, at some point there's just gonna be a large overlap of beliefs and stuff like that. So there's a large list of gods, but they're also condensed to like, okay, if there's any overlap, then we'll just have the same god for that ideal. So that way you don't have like 5 gods that represent, lust or something like that. You'll just have the one. And then depending on situations, certain gods can take over for other gods until something gets fixed or a replacement is created. Yorjadoth. That's her name. Funny, because when I made her, I didn't know that there was like a fantasy character with a similar name and a similar theme. I had no idea until after the fact, and I was just when I found out, I was like, "Huh, neat." Because somebody mentioned, I forget the character's name, but somebody mentioned it, and I looked it up, and I was like, "Huh, that was unintentional." Just kind of happened that way. Because it was, I think, was it from? No, I don't think it was from 40K. It's from something that I don't dabble in. But it was just kind of funny that it just kind of happened that way. I could probably find the name if I find that post. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Because it just has to do with one particular character. Let's find Kiwi, because that's the easiest way. Kiwi, where are you? Kiwi, Yorjadoth, was it this one? Nope. This one? No. 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 It's only a few posts. Ah, here we go. Cho'Gath. Or is like she like the reverse of this. Cho'Gath converts matter into body growth. From League of Legends, maybe? I think this is where it's from. So something like that. I think that's the character they were mentioning. I might be wrong. But yeah, it was just kind of funny. Alright. Give me your big poof. And then I can definitely see like the plushies wearing like lewd clothing once they find stuff in their size or make it themselves. And then make things weird when they're going to places like strip clubs and stuff like that. And then it's like one of those questionable things where it's like, okay, is it wise that they're exposing themselves like this? Glad you like her. What's the guy's name? Oh yeah, I read that one. Yeah, I like her too, but she is a pain to draw. It's like, oh, you should draw your Jadava. And it's like, I don't feel like having depression for the day. She is the type of character where you just sit, you see her design and you just roll over and cry. There we go. I'll probably give them like stitching marks just to make it closer to a toy. I could see them watching like Five Nights at Freddy's and getting pissed. Or it's like, why couldn't we get those bodies? What the fuck? And then this character would be like, I don't know, they seem kind of clunky. And then like one of the other ones saying like, hey, at least we're flexible. Willy's Wonderland, I could see this character just criticizing it. It's like, wait, so they're just standing there all day until the town gives them more people to fuck with? Or murder? We'll draw a ribbon last. I just need the body set up. Oh yeah, that movie was great. They're not supposed to have muscle necessarily, so I'm just gonna give her normal arms, or like undefined arms. Her arm would probably be more out there though if she's gonna have it on her hips. But yeah, again, I'm gonna give this character like big boobs. Mostly because she does it to taunt another female character in the group. And it looks like she already's got hips, so just make her busty, and there you go. And she knows how to like sew, so that's why she has the ability to do that. Like, I'll show her like originally she didn't have big boobs, and then she gives them to herself later on. As more of like a fuck you to the other character. Do I want her tilted on the side, or do I want her... Yeah, tilt should be fine. Trying to keep her proportions similar. I'll probably do two versions, one where she doesn't have big boobs. But the big boobs one will be the default. Plus, I could say that she originally had big tits when she had her original body. And so, that's when she also pisses off the other characters. Like, what did you do? It's like, oh, you know, just making sure I'm back to being accurate. And could say that that she did that before the god decided to have them feel pain. That way it would make sense lore-wise. And when they do gain the ability to feel pain, she'll look at her boss and is like, you just had to open your fucking mouth. It's like, we were invincible. We could do whatever the hell we wanted, but no, you had to piss off the god that brought us back to life. Yeah, real smart. She'd be like, why did you do that? Ooh, I could totally see the god picking favorites as well. Just to fuck with the group even more. Like, this one's the favorite. And so maybe her pain is less than the others, or maybe she doesn't feel it at all and she just fakes it. Yeah, I could see that. That'd be fun. There's so many ways I can go about this. Hello, hello. Yes. And a lot of people are zipping for that guy. But I'm glad you like her. She's a fun one. I think I have that a little bit too high. looks better. And bring this down a little bit. Yeah, I think making them 3 foot tall would be the wiser choice, rather than a Toy Story size. That's good. It's always good to get in some practice. Even if it's like 10 minutes, it's still worth it. And maybe if they please the god every once in a while, he'll reward them with something. Like, he won't change them back, but he'll give them some sort of benefit. Can always go the Zooble route from Amazing Digital Circus and give them the ability to have sex. And the god is just like, the what now? He's like, you know, mating. He's like, oh yeah, that thing. He's like, yeah, why not? Just does it. Just gives them the ability to do so. Same thing for like being able to eat and drink. So that way they don't go crazy of not being able to do fun stuff. The worst thing that could happen to them is that, like, if they get caught and put into like a cell or something, and they have to come up with like creative ways to break out, like tearing themselves into pieces to get themselves through the bars or something. Or like if the god decides to make it so that if their pieces come off, they can still move their limbs, like their hands or something. Or if they can get into arguments and like one of them flips the other one off and he's like, are you flipping me off? It's like, it's hard to tell. It's like, I know it's hard to tell, but yes, I am. These hands are like gloves. And you just see like a little nub that's supposed to be like the flipping off gesture. But it just looked like this. It's just like this. but because it's like little glove hands, it's like really hard to tell. It's like, are you flipping me off? Yes! Yes, I am! It's like, if it wasn't for me, we'd be dead. We're already dead. We're just in toys now. It's not like immortality or anything, because we have some fucked up god watching us half the time. So yes, this would be fun. The arm a little bit bigger. Or maybe even being able to eat and drink is like a punishment. Where it's like, alright, now you guys need sustenance. Fuck you. It's like, oh great, now we gotta look for food. It's like, you know what, it was nice not having to worry about that. And then you gotta fuck this up on that too. So yeah, like almost like any time the god just wants to punish them, he just makes them more mortal. It's either that or he just makes them do things. Imagine a Becky doll. Or like I could see the god like getting bored with them not doing anything interesting, and so he like makes them want to go rob somewhere or break into something, and it's like, why would we do that? And he's like, because I said so. And he like compels them to do it. And they're like, shit. And then that's how they get into like other weird scenarios. I'll draw the fluff and the big boobs separately. All right, have a good night. Alright, so this would be her base, and then we'll add in her other features later down the line. Just a little bit. Ah, forgot the tail. I don't think there's anything extra with it, right? No. Yeah, let me put some stitches on her. Just a few. Not really many places to put them on, but I want them exposed. Probably see more like behind her and stuff like that. Maybe they'll have like a tag on their ass or something. So whenever I get around to that, to showing them from behind, I can show like they have like a tag on them or something. Should like a stitch over here. Okay, and let's fix her mouth a bit. Since we're not normally going to see this, I might as well put the stitches on here. I'll leave that clean.
can't remember if I made this one darker.
Oh, it's easier if I do it this way. Yeah, that's what I thought.
for my people in the ghetto. I keep the flavor from night to morning. Just like an alkaline, I keep going strong. Another angle just to keep flexing. This is like a drill, yo. When I'm texting my unusual styles of rap, then I fix it. A rhyme from the beginning to the middle, within a flash. You, but you living kinda foul, so yo, pack your bag, kid, you got to go to the drawing board, cause I ain't going for the whack stuff. You best to sack up before I bring the Mac up. Then take shots, like that Jamaican kid they call Ross. I get rough rocks from my block to your block. And with the super duper lyrics that I create, it's too late for any discussions or debates. Start breaking, no it's forsaken to think that I can be taken, cause I'm your highness, the rap finest, you can't deny this. Dig a little deeper, yo, I'm sure that you will find it. Style of mine as a dope speech, I'm intellectual, now I have to teach. Supporting my territory, I call props, and all the faded perpetrators, they getting knocked. Just get involved with the rhythm, the rhymes I give them full with impact. Your brother, listen, there's no stopping this style like the apocalypse. It's 97, yo, check the way I'm dropping it. You must be joking, kid, yeah, I may be smoking. You can't take me out, yo, my style is doping. Word up, I'm catching wreck like that. It's 97, yo, the street fighter game shit is fat.
And with that, I will call it for tonight. All that's really left of her is just, the two different chest sizes I was gonna give her, the ribbon and her glasses. But yeah, I'll finish her up soon, and if not, then we'll finish her up in the morning. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming, and I will see you guys again next time. All right, you guys have.